We gather together this morning, tenderly, like drops of dew on a leaf of grass, hopefully, like gathered raindrops on a cloud, gleefully, like water rushing in a stream to the sea, deeply, like groundwater pulled up from a well. We gather from every direction for another year of growth and depth, another year of companionship and hope, another year of learning to love this world. We gather like the water that joins us across all of creation, the water that connects us within and without, merging and flowing across the entire world. I now invite you to rise in body or in spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, There's a River Flowing in My Soul. It's number 1007 in your teal hymnals, and the words will also be on the screen.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart,
In my mind.
there's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing, there's a river flowing, there's a river flowing in my soul.
And I invite you to remain risen for our chalice lighting and then our covenant work, and then our covenant. This morning, our chalice lighting, it has a participatory part, so Jeremy will start us out, and then the words will be on the screen for you to jump in.
Each of us comes to this sacred space today to dip into the well that nourishes our hungry spirits. Each of us comes with our own cup of goodness to pour into the well. The chalice is a vessel, a bowl, a cup. We drink together. With this light, we place this vessel. We also place our common hopes, our shared dreams, our mutual commitment to a world made whole. May we be strengthened by our bond of love and peace.
And now join in saying our covenant words, first in English and then in Spanish. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, thus do we covenant. La doctrina de esta iglesia es el amor. La búsqueda de la verdad es su sacramento y el servicio es su oración. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar el conocimiento en libertad, Servir, humanidad en comunión. Este es nuestro pacto.
Good morning. Welcome to the weekly worship service of Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church. I'm Jeremy Pace. I use he, she, they as my pronouns, and it is my privilege to serve as worship associate this morning. One bit of housekeeping before I go any further. Please be sure to silence your electronic devices. Thank you. Emerson has been a welcoming congregation offering a home for open and inclusive spirituality in the West San Fernando Valley since 1954. We are proud to be a part of the Unitarian Universalist Association, which centers love at the core of a commitment to equity, justice, compassion, and respect for the interdependence of all beings in the cosmos. Here at Emerson, we invite you to bring your whole self, your full identity, your questioning mind, and your expansive spirit. Let us begin today by acknowledging that this traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Tatavian, Chumash, Tongva, and Kizh peoples. The forces of colonialism and imperialism and racism stole these lands and suppressed the languages and cultural traditions of those who lived here. We commit to honoring their elders, past, present, and future, for they hold the memories, the traditions, and the culture of this area. We gather today to worship both in our physical church at Canoga Park and virtually via Zoom. To our members and friends joining us in both spaces, I extend a welcome and thank you for your ongoing fellowship and support. This beloved community would be less without any one of you, and your presence is deeply felt and appreciated. If you are new to Emerson, I hope you find this service both spiritually and intellectually engaging, and that you feel truly welcome here. We encourage you to sign either our physical guest book in the foyer or our virtual guest book linked from the chat in Zoom, where you can sign up to receive our weekly newsletter with service announcements and information about other Emerson program offerings like today's Climate Justice Workshop or new Tuesday night improv classes. Also in the Zoom chat, there should be a link to our virtual book of life where you can share any joy or concern you'd like to share aloud with the congregation during the service. And as always, those of you here in our sanctuary can share those names or occasions in our physical book of life. If you'd like to get to know us better, please join us for a coffee hour in our pavilion after the service, or our virtual coffee hour on Zoom. Also after church today is the next session of our Inquirers series, where folks can learn more about Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church and Unitarian Universalism more broadly, which will be taking place on Zoom or in the minister's office starting at noon. This Sunday is a special day because it is our annual water communion, which also serves as the start of our church year. And as a fan of the sea and an incredibly huge fan of The Little Mermaid, it is an honor and a bit kismet for me to be here today. I am grateful like you would not believe. Water is the most sacred and life-giving elements, is one of the most sacred and life-giving elements on Earth. When scientists look at the possibility for life on other planets, they search for signs of water to know if life of any sort could stand a chance there, because water is life. The presence of water signifies a chance for worlds to grow. Today, we will be honoring our waters, both internal and those around us, and examining the life that those waters have helped sustain. Join us today while we dive into the depths of the sacred element that unites us all. And now, before I turn the pulpit over to Reverend Matthew for our story for all ages, let's take a moment to greet our neighbors in the spirit of fellowship. And feel free to use this opportunity to share a joy or concern in the Book of Life.
So, just one quick thing before we start welcoming our neighbors. So people aren't surprised, we're not actually doing the Book of Life this Sunday because of the nature of our service. And I forgot to tell Jeremy to change his script, so I apologize for that. We'll be doing that next week. No, it's not your fault. I didn't realize until you said that.
Okay.
Yeah, like here, the three of us.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
Do you care who's in the center?
No, but I'll be on the far.
Okay, so either one. She'll probably be on that side, then I'll be in the middle. Probably.
Okay.
Okay, well, the choir is at the end of the service.
I know,
So.
I noticed. We'll stay.
It is good to be together this morning. Our story for all ages this morning is called Water Dance by Thomas Locker. Some people say that I am one thing. Others say that I am many. Ever since the world began, I have been moving in an endless circle. Sometimes I fall from the sky. I am the rain. Sometimes I cascade. I tumble down, down, down over the moss-covered rocks through the forest shadows. I am the mountain stream. At the foot of the mountains, I leap from a stone cliff, spiraling, plunging. I am the waterfall. In the shadows of the mountain, I am still and deep. I fill and overflow. I am the lake. I wind through broad, golden valleys joined by streams, joined by creeks. I grow ever wider, broader, and deeper. I am the river. I pass through the gateway of high stone palisades, leaving the land behind. Cool silver moonlight sparkles and dances on my waves. I am the sea. Drawn upward by warm sunlight in white silver veils, I rise into the air. I disappear. I am the mist. In thousands of shapes, I reappear high above the earth in the blue sky. I float. I drift. I am the clouds. Carried by winds from distant seas, I move, growing heavier, growing darker, returning. I am the storm front. At the walls of the mountains, I rise up as gleaming, power-filled towers in the darkened sky. I am the thunderhead. I blind the sky with lightning. The earth trembles with my thunder. I rage. I drench the mountainsides. I am the storm. Storms come. Storms pass. I am countless drops of rain left floating in the silent air. I reflect all the colors of sunlight. I am the rainbow. I am one thing. I am many things. I am water, and this is my dance through the world. The end. I now invite you to join me in saying our Unitarian Universalist affirmation. If you know the hand signals or can pick them up, they're pretty easy. I invite you to do them with me. We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Each year, as we gather again at the end of summer, it's our custom to offer water as a symbol of our connection, one to the other. It could be water you gathered from travels, from the rain a week and a half or so ago, or water from the tap. This morning, we will have 5 periods of sharing whatever water we have brought. And we want to share with one another what the water means to us, what it symbolizes in our own lives. First, we will have a chance to share water that reminds us that while some have abundance, others struggle in scarcity. Second, we will share water that symbolizes travel, movement, and change. Third, we will share water that reminds us of life's storms, our concerns, our worries, our frustrations, and losses. And finally, we will share water that reminds us of the wellspring of our lives. And please don't worry about which time for sharing is the right time. The great things about symbols is that they are always open to many different interpretations. And so you get to choose when you come forward. And you can pour water out more than once if you want. This container here, empty of water, reminds us of all who lack access to safe and affordable water. I dedicate this first water from last year's communion, to begin our water communion with this symbol of solidarity with all those around the world who are calling for the human right to water. I also pour out water for all those farmers who have lost crops and livestock in the midst of often record droughts. If you would like to share water representing an awareness of scarcity in our community or in our lives, please come forward using the side aisles here, and then you can return back up the center aisle. And pour a little of your water into our common bowl here. If you're joining us online, you are welcome to get your own bowl to pour water into. And if you'd like, you can say a word or two about the significance of this water into the microphone or to type it in the chat. If you did not bring any water with you today, don't worry. We invite you to pour some from either one of these pitchers into the bowl. I ask you to pour slightly sparingly. And you are always welcome to share silently. You do not need to speak to share. So I will invite folks to come down the center aisles and to pour, and then once you pour, you can speak into the microphone.
For relief and refreshment. Sadness at all the water that gets wasted in so many ways.
Our daughter was born in the drought of 76, the bicentennial year, and I remember she was about almost 18 months old, and it started to rain, and I took her out to the front porch to show her the water, and she was angry at the sky because how dare it drop wet on her. It wasn't bath time, and she was really annoyed. Now her lands are nourished by the Snake River in Idaho. They have irrigation rights, and they have a couple of wells. So they have an abundance of water, fortunately, for their animals.
For the farmers who have died of dehydration or heat stroke.
Each week we take time in our service to take up a collection, to share our offering with an organization that is doing good work in our community. For the folks who come to Haven Hills, which offers services and shelter for those who are facing domestic violence. Many of them are often experiencing a metaphorical drought, forced to leave very difficult situations, sometimes with nothing more than the clothes on their back, leaving dangerous situations, often with kids. And Haven Hills, since the 1970s, has been providing support and care for those people who are leaving situations of domestic violence, providing support to women and men as well as children every year to help them escape that violence and to break that cycle. And so, as we take up our offering, I invite you to give generously. You can make payments via the Breeze mobile app or by going to donate.emerson.uuc. You can write a check to Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church and just write share the plate in the memo if you are writing a check. And our offering will now be gratefully received.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
And now for part 2. I invite you to share water that reminds you of the changes and transformations in your life, your journeys, whether spiritual or physical. Please come forward now.
A couple of years ago, I got rid of my car, started riding my bike everywhere. I've been collecting plastic water bottles, aluminum cans. A lot of the plastic water bottles still have water in them. And so this is water from my travels on my bike.
This is to honor ebbs and flows and unexpected changes.
A year ago, both of us had been on our own at opposite ends of the country, Philadelphia and the San Fernando Valley, and today we brought water from our home together. We're pleased and honored, delighted to share it here.
For peace in our hearts and in the world.
Every person I know who struggles with addiction has one thing in common. Sounds kind of funny, but it's true. They're all dehydrated. Every one of them. And so on behalf of that first sip of water that someone takes whenever they make the choice to get sober, I pour this water in honor of their healing. And now for a reflection. I call this dive. To step into the realm of spirituality is for me like stepping into the ocean. When I say spirituality, I refer to my own understanding of what it is to be human, to notice, to question, to feel something all around me, to be, in a way, submerged in the experience of living. I've come to see that my spirit's existence feels similar to swimming among the depths, so it's surprising to look back and realize how long it took me to move to a coastal town. What a metaphor for my spiritual journey. I spent so many years trying to make it to Los Angeles, and one of the reasons I wanted to be here so badly was obviously the ocean. And then I made it. And what's funny is, now that I live about an hour from the beach, I only make it there about once or twice a year. Be it traffic or just not having the time, I can't seem to make it to the water all that often. Spirituality can feel a lot like that as well. I spent years just trying to understand where I belonged and what I believed, and when I found out about Unitarian Universalism years ago, it seemed like the perfect fit for me, and I Googled the closest UU church, and then I didn't go. I moved close to the beach, metaphorically, and then I stayed dry for a while. It can be a lot to get in the water. It can be a lot to simply make it to the ocean. And it's okay if maybe the best we can do is move to a coastal town and just sit there for a while. And eventually, when we are ready, we can dive in. One of those trips for me was just about a week ago. I went snorkeling off of Catalina Island. I was completely submerged. I made it back in. And in that water, I was aware of what was around me, the coolness of the water, the silky, thick, and somehow loud liquid. I could feel the pressure increase as I dove deep, the way the tides tossed and turned me. Much of what I could see was beautiful, but at the edge of my vision was an unknown darkness that both dared me to swim out and also warned me that I could not know what was to come. And while the entire experience was beautiful and it calmed part of my soul, I wouldn't call it relaxing. Because to be aware of yourself isn't a soothing or calming experience. It wakes you up. The ocean is both beautiful and overwhelmingly powerful. The waves do not calm down so that you can enter easily. The monsters of the deep don't take into consideration that you're on vacation and thus they ought to leave you alone. The riptide doesn't know who you are or even where you're standing. It just knows to pull. And all of that power and all of that beauty mixed together in the ocean, leaving the question of whether or not to enter entirely up to you. My spiritual experience has been no different. The circumstances of my life have not changed because I chose to participate and to wake up. The events I have no control over have not suddenly become more peaceful and more safe. Unknown waves of tomorrow still come as heavy as they will, some light, some heavy. But that has changed. But what has changed since I stepped into the ocean, and every time I choose to get back in, is that I am able to see beauty I would have never known otherwise. To be aware of everything around me. To be awestruck at being a part of something that is much, much bigger than me. And so sometimes I may find that I've simply stood on the beach for months. Maybe I've been far inland and barely even thought about the sound of the waves for a while. But that ocean is always there. That chance to really get in will call me when I need it. And when I'm ready, there are adventures to dive to. There are adventures that await. And the sea of spirituality's invitation remains for me to come home.
Our next song this morning is Swimming to the Other Side, and to help us with it, we have three singers who are going to lead the song. It's going to start with the chorus, but I invite you to just listen to the chorus the first time, and then when the chorus comes back around again, the second and third time, you are invited to sing along, and the words will be on your order of service, or on the screen. I'm sorry.
The choir is going to help with the refrain the first time, and then we'd like everybody to join on the refrain the second time.
this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time.
I am balanced at the brink of wisdom. I'm impatient to receive a sign.
I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection, it be my crime.
In humility I will listen.
We're all swimming to the other side. Living neath the great Big Dipper, we are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. When we get there, we'll discover all of the gifts we've been given to share have been with us since life's beginning, and we never noticed they were there. We can balance at the brink of wisdom, never recognizing that we've arrived. Loving spirits will live together. We're all swimming to the other side. We are living in the great Big Dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Now is the time to share water, symbolizing the storms in our lives, the concerns and sorrows, confusion and frustrations. Allow our vessel to be one of receiving and of healing as it absorbs your storm. Again, you're welcome to say a word or two about the significance of the water, or pour your water in without saying anything at all. I invite you now to please come forward.
For all the many storms I've endured over the last year.
For the tears and the fears and flowing through them.
Many of you might know that public education is under attack by right-wing extremists, and that is kind of the storm I'm weathering right now. I work in Glendale Unified. We are under a full-on attack by Proud Boys and right-wing extremists that are coming to our school board meetings every time, bringing hatred and attacking board members, and I'm on the union board, so now I'm a target, we're all targets. So it's a very scary time, so I don't know, it's weighing a lot on my spirit, but I feel like I have to fight, so I'm in the fight, so.
I'm concerned about breaking my new glasses. They weren't cheap. I'm thinking of my mother. My sister will be coming out from New Jersey later this month to begin the process of telling her and getting her in the mindset that this is the time for her to move to a new residence, which is going to be a huge change. So it's going to be quite a process, and just thinking about easing her through this the best way we can. It's uncharted waters, you might say, for us and for her.
For the people whose lives have been devastated or destroyed by the climate crisis.
My mother has a heart catheterization the 22nd, so I'm thinking about her and that.
For the people of Morocco who are just in the beginning of not even recovering from a massive earthquake that has taken already at least 2,000 lives and likely quite a number more.
Marriage and money.
Using your water because I forgot to bring the water that I drink. And it was a rude awakening for me to find out a couple of years ago that my intestines were not accepting the water in Los Angeles. And so I've been drinking specially treated water that's pure, and avoiding the glyphosate there too.
Our next hymn this morning is Wade in the Water, which is an African American spiritual. It was sung to indicate for those who were fleeing slavery to go into the water, for in the water one could not be tracked by scent. And so it is a song of water representing hard times as well as the possibility of transformation, of change and salvation. And so we hope for whatever storms are troubling us that the water might help us move through that. So if you're following along in the hymnal, we're just going to be singing the chorus, not the verses, and we'll just sing that, 4 times through.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Once more.
Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
This has been a year of storms, occasionally troubled waters. Here in California, we had a record-setting rainfall that also replenished the snowpack in our reservoirs, bringing a much-needed respite after several years of drought. And although there were worries of the flooding that would be caused as all of the snowpack melted, and indeed there was a good amount of flooding, but a cool May and June meant that the snowpack melted slowly and a greater crisis was avoided. And continuing into the summer, temperatures in Los Angeles have been noticeably cooler than the past several summers. Meanwhile, globally, this July, we had the hottest day on record, and then the day after that was the hottest day on record, and then the day after that, and then the day after that. Each hotter than the last, and overall, this July was the hottest month on record, which made it really strange to be enjoying the weather of what was an almost pleasant summer, while the rest of the world was suffering and many people, untold people, lost their lives. Heat waves are the #1 cause of death, far more than any other form of natural disaster, I should say, far more than any other cause, including hurricanes, floods, tornadoes combined. And this summer, we've also had a historic storm in our hurricane/tropical storm Hillary that contributed even more water, sometimes too much, but thankfully still did not cause nearly as much destruction as it might have had its path been different. In fact, the additional water from Hillary and another smaller storm last month has added to even more relief after those years of drought. So it was strange, again, this weird weather, and to know that a week later we saw Hurricane Idalia, which caused significantly more destruction as it went through Florida. And the El Nino weather pattern, which is just beginning and promises a wetter winter for us here in Southern California, will also make hotter and drier weather for most of the world. And so it was a strange juxtaposition, at least for me, to be enjoying this cooler, wetter summer while knowing that global warming was contributing to incredibly harsh weather almost everywhere else. And part of me felt like, should I feel okay appreciating it, enjoying? Should I be feeling guilty that we are having this while everyone else is going through so much more? And I realized that I knew feeling guilty wasn't, in fact, helpful. And that we should, in fact, enjoy life when it is beautiful. And even as our world continues to heat up and we deal with disasters, some we can't even yet imagine, we need to look for those moments of beauty and joy and appreciate them for what they are, because no matter what the storms in our lives we go through, there will always be opportunities for beauty and joy in our lives, and we must look to them to help us weather those storms, regardless of what we're going through. And so that brings us to our fourth sharing of water.
As we conclude our water communion, I invite you to bring water that reminds you of the well springs of your life, the water that sustains you when you are feeling empty, the joy that gives you hope and buoys you. Can't say that word. Buoys you up. Buoys you up. Thank you. I practiced that, y'all. Buoys you up. Come on up.
Oh, goodness. This would be for the warm summer rain over Brno in the Czech Republic, where about a month ago I got the rare opportunity to meet my partner, Katie Walker, in person.
I realized that it was 5 years ago at Water Communion that I made the decision and the commitment to become a member of Emerson. And thinking on the 5 years, I'm somewhat reminded of Reverend Matthew's story today. It's sort of never one thing, and it's always changing, but it's always a dance, and it's always ultimately sustaining. And so I look forward to, I'm sure, more of the same in the next 5 years. Glad to be with you all.
Hi everyone, I'm a guest here, but I found this really beautiful. So I want to share that for me, water represents healing for the body and healing for the soul, healing emotions. I got burn injuries, so water is a completely different thing, the opposite of burn, of fire. Fire for me destroys things, but water heals things. So I wanted to share this water for all people that have burn injuries. Well, that's all. Thank you.
Every Tuesday and Wednesday, Jean and I drive down to the yoga loft on Ventura Boulevard. And she spends an hour and a half doing yoga, and I go for a walk. And after that's all over, we both feel really refreshed. So this is water from Ventura Boulevard.
If I had thought about it, I would have brought rainwater from the rains this summer, but instead I poured it into my garden. So.
Joy for the power of people's movements that have won and will continue to win victories for justice.
That's for the choir, which sustains me and my soul. I love to sing and share song with other voices, and I've become dear friends with so many. Thank you.
And that's a perfect introduction to our next piece of our service.
sea. It's a churning, yearning river. You can cast your burdens there upon the glass, just a skip of a polished pebble. Dreamers, flowers, listen sweetly. Let the waters wash away your tears. Poets, speakers, listen keenly. Wonder not your course is set by God. Sing and dance, do a reel to the tune of a babbling tale. Do you hear to the tune of a babbling tale? Let your heart be glad, let the song of the river take you away. Let the song of the river take you away. Like a sunset where hearts of stone turn to the river of life. Wisdom of nature is true to God. Be it river or tree, set you free. Go with a heart full of grace. Come now, sing and dance. Do a reel to the tune of a babbling tale. Do you hear to the tune of a babbling tale? Let your heart be glad. Let the song of the river take you away. Dance to the tune, sing to the moon. I shall-a-roon, oh shall-a-roon. Let the river take you.
So I've had the request, and I'm trying to figure out how we might do this, of people on Zoom wishing to share a few of their things. And who was saying they had?
Here he is. Got it.
Oh, Clinton?
Yeah.
All right. So let's just take a moment. Just a couple. Sandy and Dave have sustaining water from their pool as well as captured rainwater. And Iris made full moon charged water on the last full moon. May it remind her of the healing yet to be done. Yeah, you want to? Let's go.
Yeah, okay.
So to close out our water communion, we have a responsive reading, and so the response is, this water is sacred, although you'll hear a couple times before I indicate you to say it. So just say that with me. This water is sacred.
This water is sacred. It is made sacred by the many hands that have poured it with intention and love, the many stories that each drop contains, the many lives surrounding it in this unique moment, connected by commitment and faith.
This water is sacred. May it continue to flow through this community with shining reflections of the unique gifts that flow through each of its members. This water is sacred.
May it continue to nurture this community with sustaining hope that we journey together through ripples of growth and change. This water is sacred.
May it continue to bless this community with loving reminders of our collective responsibility to one another and the world.
This water is sacred. May its ripples be a reminder that the changes and growth within this community bring movement and transformation to the world beyond our doors. This water is sacred.
May its purity offer grace to our community and the willingness to forgive ourselves and one another when we make mistakes.
This water is sacred. In moments when we are confused or uncertain, may it bring us clarity of purpose and commitment.
This water is sacred. In moments when the reservoirs of hearts and spirits are drained by sorrow or pain, may it nourish them with the knowledge that we are surrounded by a deep and abundant love. One last time, this water is sacred. And now, before we end our service, I just want to thank those who helped make this service possible. Jeremy Pace, our worship associate, to Kevin Matthey, our music director, and Eloise Porter, our choir director. And of course, it's so wonderful to have the choir back singing again after the summer break. It sounded beautiful. Very glad to have you. And to the folks in the crow's nest running the technology, and our Zoom hosts, and the people at the welcome desk, and those who help out with the coffee hour, and including the cleanup after the coffee hour. Incredible gratitude for that. All of this is what makes our services, this community, happen. And also one quick announcement from Anna Wagner about our climate justice workshop happening after the service today.
Okay. Great. Hi, everyone. Hi. So we know that the climate crisis is impacting our communities, and the people least responsible are hit first and worst by the crisis. What do you want to be able to say to future generations when they ask, what did you do? There is still time. That's the good news. There is still time, and together we can do so much, and that's why I'm inviting you to join me for a climate justice workshop. We will have some light food over in the pavilion, and then in about 20 minutes, we'll gather over here. The request is to please be masked to accommodate those who have health concerns. So it's just going to be a great opportunity for us to explore together what is our vision for a more just future, and what is our role as people of faith. So all are welcome, whether you know much about the climate issue or not. Just a willing heart is all that's needed. Thanks.
And now I invite you to rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home, which is number 1064 in your teal hymnal.
Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the stars. drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens and our little blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great wind urging me on, greet the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I traveled, and the earth is our blue boat home.
As we extinguish our chalice, I invite you to, if you feel comfortable, take a hand, or you can bump elbows or touch a shoulder. Just do something to make a connection with someone else nearby you. To those of you on Zoom, I invite you to send your energy out to each other and to us as we send ours out to you. As you leave this place, may what peace you found flow like a river. May what hope you found shine like a beacon. May what joy you found spread like contagious laughter. And may what love you found spill like water from an overflowing vessel and spread everywhere you go. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be. Anna?